Pyramid's always had a great resonance for me, and I was so excited to go again inside the Great Pyramid. The intent was to act as the ground crew. During these portal activations and the vibrational movements of the planet, the extraterrestrials have had a plan to liberate the planet, and it requires Earth humans as ground crews to anchor the light as spaceships come over the group, and spiritual people gather in prayer and meditation for the planet to help anchor and realize a new vibration. As we move forward, people become more sophisticated, and more groups are working directly with these groups. John, we have pictures of spaceships during our activation periods taken by our group in Saqqara and over the Great Pyramid. People can see those on my website. You have to navigate around a bit, but we have live pictures of UFOs by the Great Pyramid of Giza, and we have them over Saqqara. What we did when we arrived there is we did some trips to the plateau. We had a very, very experienced guide whose family has held the keys to the different pyramids for years. He has many family members within the police force and various things. So we had an inside situation there to know what was going on. Now, as you remember, the political situation was tense, and to hear Square, people were a little worried about coming. And I told people, look, no, it's all okay at the plateau. And sure enough, when I arrived, all the tension was just in the main square where the people were peacefully demonstrating. There was some violence created by the cabal. They perpetrated violence and hurt some people. They almost got Morsi. They surrounded the palace. The military wouldn't stop him. They went in. They tried to grab him, but he escaped out the back door. That's when I was landing. So it looked like it was almost a victory. We just kind of disregarded them, and we went about our spiritual business. Our group, the very first day, we went to the Giza Plateau. Cobra wanted to do meditation outside the office. We did it, and all of a sudden people started screaming, you can't meditate, because the Muslim Brotherhood, which is a Cabal MI6 CIA Mossad-run organization designed to foment World War III, in my opinion, has told them through these mullahs that the Great Pyramid of the Sphinx are idols and should be blown up. Now, our guide said, listen, my brother, we stand as one hand. We've had a civilization around for many thousands of years. No one's going to tell us what to do. We know Morsi is a hand puppet of the Islamics, and they buy the elections for him outright. They have people, he showed me from his iPhone pictures of guys repeatedly taking their fingerprints and voted like 30 times. I said, how do they do that? He said they pay him, 300 Egyptian pounds, which is about $40. You can get a person's vote, and they'll vote 20 times for you. It's all done through bribery. So the Muslim Brotherhood isn't as strong as people think, really. And the enlightened Egyptian people there are very much aware of what's going on. They're not allowing his little power grab. But
interesting. We
went to the plateau. Cobra did a thing, and we almost didn't get in. We just went in the plateau, and we had to kind of change our plans from going into the Great Pyramid because the Muslim Brotherhood was following us around. We had to pretend like we're normal tourists. The first day, we finally made it in to the Great Pyramid at 4, and we had a normal tourist visit. That evening at 12 o'clock, we had arranged a private entry. It was very expensive for our group. They opened up the Queen's Chamber, which is not open to the public, and we were in there for 3 hours. Now, Cobra was doing an amazing activation. I had a 1-watt violet laser, which is very powerful. I placed it on a tachyonized quartz or rose quartz crystal, which illuminated the room. And Cobra started speaking in Pleiadian, and we started reciting these Pleiadian mantras. The energy was incredible. We have pictures of orbs, and everyone had a tremendous experience of vibrational upliftment. It was an amazing experience. Now, the next day, we're in the middle of our conference. Cobra is giving us wonderful education and teachings. And our guide says, we had a plan to go between the paws of the Sphinx, which, again, is a very expensive special permission. And our guide says, we might not go. We go, why? Well, there's something happened there today. I don't know what. So we went up. We had another amazing activation. And I haven't gotten all the orb photos up there. A lot of the groups said they'd send them to me. I wish they'd send me more. But some amazing orb photos in front of the Sphinx. Cobra has them on his website also. But tremendous orb photos between the paws of the Sphinx, our activation. And there were lots of police activity. And they're going, what are those people doing there? Because they don't really like meditation and prayer for some reason. They don't want to incite the Muslim Brotherhood. The locals on the plane are very friendly to us because they like the tourists and they don't believe in the repression of meditation and spirituality. But the guards have to play along with the party line a little bit. And our Egyptian friends had said, no, they're just doing yoga. You know, yoga. They like to come and do yoga. So we kind of got away with it through that. And when we left, we asked, why is the bomb-sniffing dog there? And we found out, this is an amazing story, and you're one of the first people to hear it, but there was a bomb, a fake bomb, the size of a Volkswagen bus, was built inside a fake rock, and it was strapped to a flatbed truck. Now, one of the people, I was telling this story to a member at the hotel who was not in a group. She said, I saw that truck. It was really funny. I said, what is a big rock like that going to the Giza Plateau for?
Right.
She couldn't figure it out, and she said, it looked like a rock, and it wasn't. What happened was the bomb-sniffing dog and an alert guard, maybe influenced by the extraterrestrials, stopped the truck. They took the guy out at gunpoint, and they opened it up for a sophisticated bomb in there. They did not report this to the public. Our guide found out more information later because his family works in the police department. But it was a sophisticated bomb, and it wasn't allowed. Maybe they were going to try and, we believe the intent was to blow it up near the Great Pyramid or by the Sphinx to close down the Giza Plateau from spiritual groups meditating. Keep in mind, this is on the evening of the day of the 19th. We went there for the December 21st, what the Mayans call the end of time. The Great Pyramid also has a prophecy. Now, we realized that President Morsi had closed the Great Pyramid itself on the 11th and 12th and the 20th and 21st to appease his Muslim Brotherhood fanatics who didn't want any spiritual activation. So the Giza Great Pyramid was closed. We knew this, so we planned our trip to Saqqara, which is an ancient mystery initiation school, which after the fall of Atlantis, the teachings went there, and the attempt was to maintain the light amongst the people of Egypt. Eventually that failed when Tutankhamun, the 19-year-old, was killed by the dark priesthoods and the archons. So anyway, we come back on the 20th, and we hear that many spiritual groups were turned away, that the Muslim Brotherhood went there, and there were a bunch of New Agers from around the world who were planned to meditate and do prayer, and the Muslim Brotherhood was protesting and harassing these groups, and they were told they cannot come on the plateau and leave. So many spiritual groups left. And they couldn't go on the Great Pyramid, but they wanted to go around, but they were turned away on the 20th. I've taken us to the 21st, where lots of people have been turned away. The Great Pyramid is closed. Our guide said, look, we're going to take our group in. They know him as the meditation guide. He wants to be called Muhammad because he doesn't want people to know, but there's pictures of him on my website. But it's very cool. So we took a camel ride. We did an end around. We ended up by the funerary temple, and we made our way to the Khephren Pyramid, which is actually the pyramid of our choice for the activation because it's the center of the feminine aspect of the vortex, which we're bringing back into the divine feminine energies. Now, when he got there, they said, you're not going in with your group. We've canceled your permission into the Queen's chamber. He said, I didn't bring him. You said not to go in. He was very sly. He stood down, and we just went in on our own. We got to the King's chamber, which is now filled with tourists and a few members of the government Muslim Brotherhood. We didn't know this. So we had a second guy who started with sheer chutzpah, rounding people up and getting the tourists to leave. Our group is left in there with, guess what, another 10 or 15 meditators who've made it in there now. It's almost 1:11, and Cobra needs to start the activation. Our guide, went out and told people you can't come into the pyramid. Now, this pyramid's very busy. It's normally not that very busy. Most people go to the Great Pyramid because it's closed by the government. It's stacked up.
Right.
So we get our circle, we start doing, and all of a sudden, some of the Muslim Brotherhood government officials say, what's going on in meditation? And we just continue. We start speaking in Pleiadian. When we start reciting the mantrams, they start getting very agitated. But we have also with us 25 of the wonderful Egyptian meditators, spiritual people from the Egyptian community. So we have 30 and almost 30 of them. So we have 60 plus 10 meditators. We have 75 people on our side and about 4 or 5 of them. They're trying to disrupt us, and the local Egyptians are speaking them to in Egyptian. Oh, no, this is just yoga, relax. And we get our activation. It was a little tense, but we pulled it off. It was a tremendous victory of the light.
Wow.
So we come out now.
Right.
As we come out, we find out from our guy says, guess what I heard? On the 20th, when they shut it down at 12 o'clock, some wealthy Americans, we think it's dark magicians, cabal archons, had moved into the Great Pyramid at 12 o'clock on the 20th and had been in there from the 20th all through the 21st, and they hadn't come out yet. I believe they probably took in some radionic equipment for doing some of their black magic rituals, which is going to have no power. They didn't realize that the vortex has actually shifted a little bit. It's over in the Kefren Pyramid. So their attempts were to no avail, and that was quite a surprise for us that they had been in there this time. So there were some behind-the-scenes stuff